Micdup.
Part where we're live, and then we go away for a second and play our theme song because we have to.
From Lowlifes.
All right, hey, we're here. We made it. We are at beautiful Banner Island Ballpark tonight for the final Silver Slugger game of the season. We're looking forward to this tonight. The Stockton Ports will be taking on the Visalia Rawhide. These are two teams that just don't like each other, so we're hoping for fireworks tonight. Nonetheless, welcome to the Highlights from Lowlife show. I'm Robbie. Glad to be here tonight. We're going to do a little bit of an abbreviated show, but it should be a really fun show. We have two of our best storytellers on the show tonight. We've got JC with us tonight and Teddy Bear,
Hey,
Brett Tello.
guys. See you.
So we're looking forward to doing a good show for you tonight. This show is kind of interesting and different. And the reason why we've got the storytellers with us is because we're doing a what if show. So in other words, we used as our example, what if Mickey Mantle had not broken his ankle in his rookie season? What do you think would have happened? So we're going to speculate on some key baseball moments, people, on things that have happened over the years with baseball, and see what would have happened if this event that actually happened had not have happened. Does that make sense? That's a lot of happens in one sentence. But anyway, let's get the show started. I know JC is chomping at the bit to come up with this as he pulls his script out. That's how prepared he is for this. He's got some good stories for you here. So we're going to start off with JC with his first what if for the evening. In the meantime, I'm going to get a beer.
That's a good idea right there.
Thank you.
It's a good idea right there.
I'm a
Hey,
thinker.
I thought I'd start non-traditionally for me. Usually I start before the year of the Great Flood. But going back to 2002, what if Dusty Baker hadn't taken Russ Ortiz out of Game 6 after he'd allowed only 4 hits and 2 runs and was leading 4-2, 6 1/3. Dusty comes out, shakes his hand, gives him the ball, the game ball, which is the kiss of death, and he takes him out and puts in Felix Rodriguez, who promptly gave up a home run to none other than Spezio, and then Todd Worrell in the 8th gets 1 out and gives up 3 runs, including a home run by Erstad. I was looking at this and thinking, what if he didn't take him out? What if he let him go? Erstad was 0 for 2 against Russ, and Spezio was 0 for 2 against Russ. Russ had a 3.61 ERA, and in that season he'd thrown 2 complete games. His record was 14-10 in the regular season, 214 innings. So he had staying power. Nen closed out the 8th after Worrell couldn't get anybody with only 1 hit and 2 strikeouts. The curse of giving Russ the ball, I think, is what it is. I think Russ could have closed it out, and that would have been the clinching game of the World Series, and 2002 would have gone to the Giants, all but for Dusty Baker giving Russ the ball. Teddy Bear, what you got?
Okay.
That's a good one, JC.
By the way, Russ Ortiz was one of our coaches at Fantasy Camp, and he brought that ball with him. We got to hold that ball. As a matter of fact, in the Camper versus Pros game, I got to catch Russ Ortiz for a couple innings. That was a pleasure. Yes. And I haven't been the same since I held that ball. Okay, my first one is, what if Willie Mays hadn't made the catch in 54? That over-the-shoulder catch at the Polo Grounds didn't just save Game 1, but it became baseball's defining defensive play. Without it, Cleveland might have gained momentum. They needed to win the first World Series since '48, but of course, the fact that the Giants won by way of a sweep makes the believability of this what if a little harder than the rest of the list. what would we compare all the other great catches to if he hadn't made that one? And how would we compare those rest of the outstanding center fielders that are in the game now? We wouldn't. We wouldn't have that catch to have the bar set at. So, and also, I wouldn't have that cool bobblehead of Willie Mays making the catch on my mantle. So, Robbie, what's your what if?
Vic Wirtz hit the ball.
That is correct. Yeah, those are two good ones to start it off. I'm happy to hear that. I'm going a little different. I'm going to say, what if Ted Williams did not have to serve in World War II and the Korean War? I was looking at his stats, and I think we all know how incredible they are. He had a lifetime 482 on base percentage. He hit 346, I believe, lifetime, 521 homers, 1,839 RBIs. He was undoubtedly perhaps the greatest hitter of all time. He's incredible. He lost his year 24, 25, and 26-year-old years to World War II. And then he lost, his 30 and 31 parts of those to the Korean War. So he lost between 4 and 5 seasons at his peak age. And that time while he was gone, he was averaging almost 40 home runs a year. He was hitting over 350 every year. So I think his lifetime batting average probably would have jumped to 350. He's the all-time leader in on-base percentage at 482. And I think that would have pushed 500 with his ability to draw walks in those prime years of his life. He would have been at least 23, maybe 2,400 RBIs at this point. And I don't think there would be a lot of argument about him. There really isn't now about, in terms of pure just hitting, Ted Williams is the greatest hitter to ever live. You take him give him those prime years back, and I think that this guy may become one of the all-time greats. You're talking about him with Mays and Aaron and Ruth. So yeah, that's a big one. I think Ted Williams, thanks for serving the country, but man, you gave away a lot more than people realize.
And he also still had a little bit in the tank when he quit, because he
That's
had a
true.
home run in his last
Last
at
at
bat.
bat. Yeah. That was good. All right, JC. We're going to go around quick tonight, so keep up with us. Leave us a message. Hit that microphone button at the bottom and leave us a message. Give us your what if.
Absolutely. Hey, back in my era,
Says Methuselah.
in 1918, the Red Sox sold Babe Ruth to the Yankees to finance Harry Frazie's no Nanette play. Now, think about this, some of the numbers. Babe in his early years hit 11 home runs as a Red Sox at Fenway. He hit 38 in Fenway as a Yankee. He didn't hit double digits until the year after he left the Red Sox, year before he left the Red Sox in 1918. In 1920, he hit 40 home runs for the Yankees. And his last year with the Yankees, he hit 29, but he hit 54 one year, 56 another year. I mean, this guy was just an animal in the machine. And with the short porch there at Fenway, you could imagine that is his home stadium. We'd have a lot different deal. And I project that if Frazie doesn't produce no Nanette and Babe stays with the Boston Red Sox, add 606 home runs to Boston, take away the 90 Babe hit against the Red Sox, and the Red Sox would have been World Series champions in 20, 21, 26, 27, 28, and 29. But that's my prediction. So, no Nanette, thumbs down.
Good one, JC. Hey, I'm not going to do a whole lot of stats here tonight. You guys don't remember them anyway, and they're hard to read out of here. But speaking of the Red Sox, they may have won in 2018 also, or before then. But what if Bill Buckner made that play in '86? One routine ground ball changed everything. If Buckner fields it clean, the Red Sox win their first World Series since 2018, and an entire generation of New England sports drama never happens. Instead of being a cautionary tale, Buckner might have been remembered as the veteran who helped break the curse. So, what if Buckner would have fielded that ball? Robbie, what you got?
That's a good one. And
Through the 5-hole.
Billy Buckner is, we did a show about guys that maybe should be considered for the Hall of Fame, and I think Buckner's on my list. He was a great player. I think that is a dark moment, obviously, but he was a great player. And, what really points out his legend and how good a player he was, I mean, he played in the mid-'60s at Napa High School before he got drafted into the major leagues. He's, to this day, owns, I think, all but one hitting record at Napa High. I mean, that's a span of 50 years that his records have stood up. So, great ball player, great guy, bad moment.
Yeah,
I agree.
bad moment. Joel Youngblood was one of our coaches at Fantasy Camp. He called into this show and said that he thinks Buckner got a bad rap because his knees were killing him. He had to ice all the time after every game, and he just didn't quite get down. And the ball kind of took a funny hop and off the glove. So, I mean, he was a better player than that.
We didn't know the behind-the-scenes stuff like Joel happened to know.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Agreed. All right. So my next what if is in 1983, near the end of the season. Mike Marshall of the Los Angeles Dodgers, just a horrible human being in every sense of the word, as far as I'm concerned. And I do say that about every Dodger. So Mike Marshall, big, 230 pounds, 6'4", on a ground ball to second base, in order to break up the double play, deliberately came in with his forearm high into our beloved Dwayne Kuiper and broke his collarbone, messed up. I broke a couple other bones. Kuiper was out for 4 or 5 weeks, most of the rest of the season, and he actually never recovered from that injury. He played again in 1985, and the Giants released him at the end of the season in 1985, where something had changed, and it was clearly from the Mike Marshall hit. So my what if is, what if Mike Marshall had not collided with Dwayne Kuiper? We may not have him as a broadcaster today. Kuiper probably would have played out his contract with the Giants at the end of 85. I think it may have gone through 86. May have been picked up by another team as a free agent, maybe his beloved Milwaukee Brewers. He might have gone home. We may never have had Dwayne Kuiper at the microphone. So, you know what, Mike Marshall? You're an idiot, and you screwed up. You gave us the best broadcaster in history. So there we go. There's my what if on Dwayne Kuiper.
After that hit on Kuiper, he never hit another home run in the major leagues again.
Mike Marshall?
No, Kuiper.
Kuiper. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't want to brag, but if you look at the all-time home run list, I'm right behind Dwayne Kuiper.
Yeah, right there. We all are.
We all, all three of us are right there. So you're looking at guys in the books right here.
That's a commercial, maybe.
Yeah. All right. So I think that brings us to the point of the what you drinking, my favorite part of the show. For 117,000 episodes or whatever we've done so far, Almanac Brewing has been there for us. They've been our sponsor the entire time. We love those guys. And apparently they tolerate us. But we like to take our time and talk about Almanac beers because they are one of America's leading craft brewers. They make a great selection of beers, everything from light, crisp, and easy to drink, all the way up to big barrel-aged sour beers, bourbon barrel-aged things, everything. But the one constant in all of their beers is that they are delicious. They are full of flavor, whether it's the lightest little Pilsner that they make, the Crispy Girl Pilsner, or the heaviest beer. They all are just dense and packed with flavor. You can always guarantee that you're going to get a really great beer when you get an Almanac. And I have tonight, I just got it. It just came in last week, the Almanac Rocktoberfest. This is their version of an Oktoberfest beer. And I love Oktoberfest. I'm going to take a moment to talk about Oktoberfest. Back in the 1800s, there was a prince in Munich who was actually very well beloved in Munich. And he was going to get married. The new princess would come in, also very popular with the people. So they decided to have a party for the wedding because they were so popular with the people. They wanted to give the people back an opportunity to celebrate with them. So they set up a bunch of horse races, a bunch of other kind of games competitive games and things. And it was going to be a 3-day celebration to celebrate the wedding. Everybody brewed, or the 6 Munich brewers, which is Lowenbrau Munich, Augustiner, Spaten, Hockershore, Hofbrau, and Polaner. All those breweries brewed up a special beer just for this event. It ended up becoming what we know now as Oktoberfest beer. Now, a lot of the brewers in the United States and around the world make a Märzen for Oktoberfest. The reason for that is Oktoberfest got popular and Munich decided to do it over and over again. Märzen traveled better. Märzen's really just kind of a Bock beer, but you could put it on a ship and take it 6 months to America or to other parts of Europe, however long it took. And Bon Jovi's killing it, by the way. You could get that beer. It traveled better, so it tasted better, and that became what people thought of as a Oktoberfest beer. In Germany, they actually make it's much more closer to a lager. It's a high-strength lager. This sort of bridges the gap between the beer that they serve in Munich and the Märzen that so many of us were familiar with here. So Oktoberfest is great. It starts the 3rd Saturday at noon in Munich. They tap a keg at the Hofbrau Brewery every year to start off Oktoberfest, and it runs 3 weeks into the last Sunday of October, or the first Sunday of October. So there are a lot of domestic Oktoberfest beers, and look, I got to tell you, they're not very good. They're fine. They're not delicious. This beer is delicious because it's got a bit of Germany and a bit of America in it, and we all kind of wait every year for it to come out. We've learned to love this beer, and I'll tell you what, this year is as good as I remember it ever being. So Almanac Oktoberfest, look for it now. It's only going to be out. You probably won't see it again after mid-October in your stores. So load up, buy a case, do what you got to do. Yeah. What are you guys drinking?
Well, I've got the Almanac True American Lager. This is a very crisp, light beer that still has a bunch of flavor, and you can drink a couple of them and not feel too woozy, which I like.
And we do.
And we do. This one's a small can, and unlike most of the almanacs, which are the 16 ounces, this is good, and you can have a couple of them and enjoy. Almanac True American Lager. Here.
Hey, Robbie was talking about how flavorful and robust these Almanac beers are. Tonight I've got one that's got a couple of different flavors in it. It's got it's a Hefeweizen. It's called Hugs, and it's got a bit of banana and a bit of clove taste to it. Now that might seem kind of weird, but somehow it works. They came upon a good combination, a nice recipe. It's a good Hefeweizen. So if you can see this in the store, pick it up, try it, give it a shot. Thank you, Almanac. Appreciate it.
All right, that's what you're drinking for tonight. Again, thanks to Almanac. If you have the opportunity, if you're going to be in the Bay Area for any reason, you can get out to Alameda and visit the brewery. Stop by there. It's a fun place. Bring the whole family. They're very beer knowledgeable. They'll walk you through their beers. They do tastings. If you sweet talk them enough, you might get a brewery tour. And the best part is, if you tell them you heard about them from the Highlights from Lowlife show, they may take pity upon you. That's all I'm going to say about that. All right, let's get back on track here. We'll have JC give us another what if.
So I'm doing this in honor of our buddy Rob Weber because he's a long-suffering Cubs fan. And what if the Cubs had let Billy the Goat into the park in 1945? Billy Slanis, the owner of the Billy Goat Tavern, brought his goat in October to Game 4 of the World Series and was denied entrance. The Cubs ended up losing in 7 to the Tigers and had a long drought World Series. What if that hadn't happened? What if they let him in? I mean, Fergie Jenkins, Ernie Banks would have had multiple rings. Harry Carey would have died drunk 10 years before he actually died from celebrating, and hell would have frozen over. Here.
All for one goat, huh?
Before Brent goes on, I just want to point out a Mike Marshall connection. I don't know if you can hear it, but they're playing the Go-Go's right now. Our lips are sealed. Mike Marshall was married for a couple of years to Belinda Carlisle,
Oh, that's
the lead
right,
singer of the Go-Go's, who then realized he's an asshole and she left him.
Way to get those digs in there, Robbie. Get those digs in. Okay, I've got a question for you. What if Steve Bartman had stayed home that night? Huh? One fan's instinctive reach for a foul ball became the symbol of 95 years of Cubs futility. Without the Bartman incident, maybe the Cubs would have broken their curse 11 years earlier than they did. And a split-second decision in the heat of the moment wouldn't have had forever changed that devoted fan's life. I mean, he really had a lot of people after him right after that incident. But this could easily be what if Bartman stayed in his seat, or what if Moises Alou made the catch, or what if Moises Alou still missed the catch but didn't stomp around like a toddler afterwards. It could be, what if the Cubs just won the next game? Instead, the fan was scapegoated, forced into hiding, media silence, and a life of infamy. Regardless of what side you're on, this sad chapter of Major League Baseball, everyone wishes would have turned out differently.
And he's not kidding. There were death threats and everything else. Absolutely.
I mean, let's face it. The Cubs have been around, 130 years, and they've had 122 of those years be what ifs just in general. So there's a little big for you, Webby. My next what if the American League had never adopted the DH? What if we stayed with traditional baseball where the pitchers hit? What would have happened to guys like Reggie Jackson and Mike Piazza, Frank Thomas, these guys that extended their career by 7 or 8 years by becoming designated hitters? Edgar Martinez, a Hall of Famer, who pretty much played his entire career as DH. David Ortiz, recent Hall of Famer, mostly as a DH. If those guys had to play the field, those careers are probably shortened by 5 years, maybe?
Yeah.
And all of their numbers are much more pedestrian than they really ended up being. So I think the DH, not a fan. I'd still rather see the pitchers hit. I know the arguments against all of that, but I think it was real baseball. When a pitcher had to stand up there, if he'd been throwing at guys and then he had to face the music himself, I think it changed baseball. But that's another topic for another show. The DH made it easy for a lot of guys to run up wildly big numbers that maybe couldn't have got there if they had to play the field. So that's my what if for this round.
Cool. Good one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Stacy, you up? Okay. I got one for Marty who's not here, because I know Marty likes this play. He brings it up several times. But what if Fred Merkle actually touched second base in 1908? Huh? One teenage rookie's running mistake changed the entire 1908 pennant race. If Merkle had slightly touched second base, the Giants would have won the pennant. The Cubs would. Last World Series victory may have come 108 years earlier. Instead, Merkel's boner became the baseball's cruelest nickname. Anybody else got one?
Got another one, JC?
No?
All right. I was just standing here reflecting, and I was thinking, they brought up Babe Ruth. What if Babe Ruth had never been traded?
Yeah.
What if Babe Ruth had been traded, but the Yankees acquired Rabbit Moranville? Dare I say, greatest of all time, had that have happened. I think Rabbit Moranville would be a monument in the park. I think his plaque in the Hall of Fame would be up one level. I think everything about Rabbit Moranville would be elevated if Babe Ruth had not been traded and Rabbit Moranville had. There you go.
Yeah. I got a few honorable mentions.
Oh, yeah, light them up.
Okay. I got what if Pete Rose didn't bet on baseball? Easy. He'd be in the Hall of Fame. And all this stuff going back and forth, it would just be great if Charlie Hustle, the all-time hits leader, for Pete's sake.
Yeah,
That
no
is
kidding.
See what I did there?
That is a thing.
Yeah. Anyway, that was one of them. The other one is, I think it should be mentioned, what if the color barrier didn't exist? Huh? What if it never existed? It seems stupid now, awful and embarrassing too. We as a country had some short-sighted, hateful views that dictated policy. But baseball was no exception. Without a doubt, it's the biggest, most important what if. One would never be
there would be no argument. The barrier should have never existed. At the end of the day, on-field stuff is on-field stuff. You know, what if the Yankees won it? Who cares? It's a game. It's something much bigger and important to look back and remember.
Well said. Well said. I think we're all of a generation that I think we're fortunate to have grown up where we saw those players. And I think by seeing the Latin players and the black players and the white players and everybody all play together, I think all of us just grew to appreciate that and kind of treat it that way in life. I really credit baseball for the way a lot of us think now, that it was okay to like Chris Spire and Tito Fuentes and Willie Mays. It wasn't an issue. They were interchangeable in your mind. They were your favorite players, and it didn't matter what their race or their background was. And I think baseball taught a lot of us that. So when Jackie broke the color barrier, he changed a lot of things, and it had a butterfly effect that a lot of us still feel and can appreciate today.
Very good.
So I have to mention this. What if Drungo Hayeswood, the fastest Oriole, wouldn't have flipped the spread on Frank Robinson and his manager and said words to the effect of "up yours" and walked out? If he would have stayed with the Orioles, he would have been potentially an all-star.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna throw them out there
Yeah,
without
keep
too
them
much
going,
comment, but something that you guys to think about. What if Carlton Fisk's homer went foul in '75? We all remember him running down the first base line going, "Willing it fair, willing it fair, willing it fair," and he did. And then what if Dave Winfield's ball hadn't hit that seagull? I mean, that's the strangest arrest in baseball history. Dave Winfield was charged with animal cruelty and had to go back to Toronto. And he got it dismissed, and he did pay a fine. And then he also donated a lot of his game used stuff to charities so they could auction off and get money. So he made amends for that, and it was accidental. And then what if the Cubs had won in '69 instead of the Miracle Mets? That was one of the biggest meltdowns there was. Ever, yeah. So those are my honorable mentions. Go ahead, JC. You go.
Randy Johnson also killed a bird and got away with it in spring training. He fired a fastball right through a seagull, but it was all in fun.
And
So
John,
rat with wings, who cares?
and John Rocker flipped a lot of birds. So normally you see the field behind us, and when we got here, there was no batting practice going on, and we thought that was strange because normally you guys see that in the background while we do a show here at beautiful Banner Island in Stockton, California. However, tonight they weren't taking batting practice, and we speculated before the show started why that might be. Maybe it was the heat. Just a moment ago, they posted last night's game score. The game last night went 14 innings, with the Ports coming from behind to win 7-6 in the 14th inning. So that's why they're not taking batting practice today. That's why, if you can see it, you get to see the ground crew and a couple of guys warming up. No batting practice behind us today. So we're coming to you live on the micdup app. Some of you may be watching on YouTube, and that's great. But if you watch us live, when we are live on micdup, you can actually interact with us during the show. You can leave us a message. It doesn't have to be even live. You can leave us a message a day or two before the show and tell us about what's going on. Tell us about what you think this week's topic is going to have, and give us your point of view. And we actually have a couple here I want to share with you.
What if Tony Conigliaro was not hit in the face by that Jack Hamilton fastball? He could have been one of the greatest power-hitting outfielders in Boston Red Sox history, and it would have saved the Bay Area one of the worst sports announcers I've ever heard before.
That's a good one from Webby there. Here's another one.
What if Bartman doesn't interfere with the baseball during the Cubs-Marlins series? I know Robbie thinks the Cubs still lose due to the Alex Gonzalez error, but you gotta wonder, that was very deflating for both the Cubs and their fans, and it gave a lot of momentum to the Marlins. What happens if it's simply a foul ball or a Lou catches it? It's a very different game, and I think the Cubs win.
That's a good one, too. We were speculating before the show. Brent actually suggested that Webby, not here with us tonight, he's on assignment, that Webby would bring up the Black Cat in 1969 crossing home plate in front of Ron Santo.
Yeah.
So that could happen in the old what if category as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good ones, Robbie.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the long-suffering Cub fan.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't need to belabor the point. We could stand here and make up crappy what if stories all night long. But I think we covered some of the key ones. I want to do this show again, and I hope you guys will interact and think about it over some time and give us some real good what ifs next time we do this topic. And you can leave that on the show. So we'll encourage you to do that. But for now, you know what? We're going to sign off. We're going to go enjoy this ball game here tonight. Visalia and Stockton, two exhausted teams. Thank you to Almanac Brewing. Almanac Brewing, Alameda, California. Still one of the great craft beer makers in the United States and the world. Make sure you get out and see them. We had a lot of fun tonight. This was great. I hope you enjoyed the show, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Cheers.